Hello, welcome back to Whiskey Wednesday. Another Wednesday, another whiskey review with me, Joe. So this week I'm finally reviewing Auchentoshan 3 Wood. That's about time I've reviewed this, had this bottle for a while, and it's been on the list to review. So, let's pour a dram. First off, big shout out to Mark Dermal, who is another whiskey vlogger on YouTube. Please check out his channel, Mark's Whiskey Ramblings. If you just type that into YouTube, he's a fantastic blogger, and he's known as the Toshan Man, as he is a huge fan of Auchentoshan. So, hi to Mark. Check out his channel. I really recommend you do. Now, Auchentoshan is a lowland distillery located just north of Glasgow. If you ever go to Glasgow, I'd highly recommend going to the Auchentoshan distillery, paying them a visit. The best advice I can give you is if you fly into Glasgow, you can actually get a bus that goes directly outside the Auchentoshan distillery from the airport. So literally get off the plane, go to the bus station in the airport or just outside, in the kind of outside bit of the airport, and get on a bus. It takes you to Clydebank, takes about 40 minutes, and you're there at the distillery. When I went to the distillery in January, I went around the distillery tour and then came back outside. I'd come straight from the plane and it absolutely caned it down with rain. And I didn't have an umbrella, I didn't have a coat, I didn't have a hood, and I got absolutely soaked. But I had a great time at Auchentoshan distillery, so let's review this 3 Wood. Now, Auchentoshan is a lowland distillery. Now, the kind of traditional style of lowland distilling was that it was triple distilled. It was almost done in the Irish style. So triple distilled, light, grassy, floral, and that's a kind of typical lowland style. Now, Auchentoshan is the only distillery in Scotland to triple distill everything that they produce. Now, there is a couple of other distilleries that do produce triple distilled whiskies in Scotland. So, example, Hazelburn, part of the Springbank distillery group, or distillery, I should say. Ben Riach do a triple distilled expression, and there are very few others dotted about. But Auchentoshan triple distill everything they produce. Now the 3 Wood, it comes it's the third one in to their core range. Funnily enough, you've got the American Oak, you've then got the 12-year-old, and you've got the 3 Wood. So it's priced around about £48 in the UK or thereabouts. And it's called the 3 Wood because it's specifically matured in 3 different types of cask. Now it spends the first 10 years in an ex-bourbon cask. It spends the second year, or the 11th year I should say, in a Oloroso sherry cask. And then the third year it is matured in a Pedro Jimenez sherry cask. So 3 different cask types. Lovely dark colour. Not sure if there is caramel colouring in here, but it doesn't matter, it would be pretty dark anyway, even if it hadn't had caramel colour adding to it. It's bottled at 43%, so a decent little bit of alcohol. Let's give it a nose. Okay, so on the nose, definitely sherry, clearly. Dates, chocolatey, caramel, honey. It is almost like a Manuka honey with kind of added dates, there's prunes notes in there. There's a kind of treacly note, a slightly bitter coffee note. And also with Auchentoshan, I always get a kind of, the spirit style is this kind of slightly kind of waxy spirit style I get through all the Auchentoshans. You can smell, I've just dropped a bit. So yeah, it's kind of waxy spirit style. Right, let's have a taste. Okay, on the first taste, rich, full flavoured, creamy, silky in the palate. Again, because it is triple distilled, you do get that kind of slightly softer mouthfeel. There's not as much burn, as a lot of people say. Yeah, incredibly soft, but then that kind of fruitiness comes through as well. Let's give it a second taste, because I always say your first taste is just a marker. The second taste is when those flavours will really start to develop. Okay. The second taste, dried nuts, coffee. Again, those kind of sticky dates. The taste now I always use for this whiskey is sticky toffee pudding. And I'm hoping you've had sticky toffee pudding or date pudding. It is that whiskey. It's rich, kind of treacly, creamy, dried fruits. Just, yeah, sticky toffee pudding in a glass. And I actually took part in, when I was bartending for a period of time, I was runner-up in a kind of regional heat for an Auchentoshan competition where I made a cocktail using some homemade date syrup, and I made this cocktail that tasted like sticky toffee pudding sauce, and I called it Auchie toffee sauce. Sadly I didn't win the competition, but I came runner-up. So yeah, I do a little bit of cocktail making now and again, I have been known. But yeah, this is what I made, a sticky toffee pudding sauce cocktail. Really good. Let's give it one more taste. You can get the kind of chewy, kind of chocolatey barley note coming through as well. Kind of biscuity, chocolatey barley. And then the finish is, it's actually medium to long, considering, you know, it's only a 12-year-old whiskey, so it's not kind of massively old, but the finish is there. It's very pleasant. I'm going to give this, I think this is a solid 8 out of 10 whiskey. I think if you want something richly flavoured but easy to drink, then the 3-wood is such a good little whiskey. So 8 out of 10. It is widely available across the net and in pretty much all specialist shops. If you haven't tried Auchentoshan 3-wood, I do think it's one of the best in their range, other than the 21, which I really recommend seeking out. Sadly, I haven't got a bottle in my collection, but the Auchentoshan 21 is stunning. So 8 out of 10 for the Auchentoshan 3-wood. Let me know if you've tried the whiskey. Leave me a comment. Please share the video. And I will see you next week for yet another whiskey review. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.